I'm grieving. I'm grieving. I'm grieving for Grievous. I actually was pretty upset when General Grievous bit the dust in Revenge of the Sith, but I guess not every character, not every villain gets to live forever. But I'm grieving again for Grievous. I'm grieving. I'm grieving. And it'll be corrected, which is good. And there'll be replacement parts, which will also be good. But you have to wonder, is Hot Toys ever going to come out with their version of General Grievous? And I say, hold on, I'm getting a call. Let me take this. Hello? Wizard! How do you know I'm recording a show? This isn't live. This is pre-recorded. Because you're a wizard. Okay. What? No. No. Are you sure? Are you positive? Wizard! He always hangs up on me. I just heard from the Hot Toys Wizard that Hot Toys will be officially announcing, let's dive into it, baby, right now! All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. So before we go ahead and dive into it, I will be live and raw this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Labor Day weekend, and I will have a full panel which will be all of you, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of coffee spilling, spotchka drinking, egg juice drinking, water drinking, decaf. I'll have all the pots. My goodness gracious. You don't want to miss Live and Raw. 7 p.m. If you need a picker-upper and you want to get some laughs and you just want to be energized, what you gonna do when Hot Toys unleashes on you all these clones? I know what I'm going to do. Okay. All right, listen. Let's get into this right now. I praised the whole idea on May 4th week. Sideshow got the edge up on Hot Toys. I talked about it a lot in those prior shows. They got the edge up. They listened to the community, to the Star Wars collecting community. They wanted a Grievous. And this was the number one selling figure all throughout the May 4th week. Once that Ahsoka and Grogu from a few weeks before or a month before started to settle back down, Grievous became number one, and nothing that Hot Toys put out was even coming close to this Grievous. Grievous was killing everything, best-selling wise. And this was an absolute home run by Sideshow. And you have to wonder why Hot Toys wasn't listening to the community on a figure like this. Now, they have been listening, which is why the year before, last year we got the announcement of Ahsoka, Clone Wars Ahsoka. Remember, that figure broke the internet. And they came out with, wow, and then obviously before that with Captain Rex, time before that. So they've been giving the collecting community what we've been asking for. And Sideshow hit it out of the park with coming out with a General Grievous. However, because of these unfortunate and unexpected issues right now. And mind you, this issue will be corrected. You know, you see that the release date on this here now is between December and January. Those versions that are going to be coming out are not going to have the issues from the various reviews that are up. And even for collectors that are choosing to keep this figure right now, they're going to go ahead and actually do the right thing and give replacement parts. But you have to wonder, is it possible that Hot Toys is seeing this and hearing what's going on? And wouldn't it be very, very interesting if during the course of this year, that gut feeling that I have had for months, that we're going to get some type of announcement from Hot Toys out of left field that we're just not expecting? Is there really any better time for Hot Toys to officially announce their own version of General Grievous? And with some die-cast parts? Can you just imagine? And I really, really think that before the end of this year, you are going to see Hot Toys come out with their own version, officially announce their very own General Grievous, which is going to go head-to-head with this General Grievous that is offered up from Sideshow Collectibles. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. A Hot Toys version of General Grievous, and even if it has some minor die-cast parts like that IG-11 that they came out with, or perhaps some parts like the the droid from the K2SO from Rogue One. It's going to be very, very interesting because it will most certainly be much, much more expensive than this Sideshow version, which will be way more affordable. But because of this unfortunate incident, you have to wonder if there's going to be a Hot Toys offer up over here to directly compete with this version of General Grievous. Now, business is business. And don't think that Hot Toys wouldn't do this at this time. And even if it's not fully ready. But I do think that they probably have played around with it a little bit. And if they can go ahead and conjure up some type of prototype, and even if it's not, and it's just kind of a tease, not like sometimes they put out a tease, that in and of itself would be an absolute crazy tease of a Hot Toys General Grievous. And you have to wonder. And listen, I think that sometimes there's a perfect storm for an opportunity for things. And I think right now is the time where you're going to see a General Grievous. They missed the ball. They dropped the ball on this Hot Toys on May 4th, on the week of May 4th. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball on this. Now they can go ahead and pick up the ball, and they can go ahead and play that game. And do I think it's possible that they're going to come out? First of all, I think that it's just inevitable anyway that we get a Hot Toys version of General Grievous. It's going to come. But I don't think there's any better time than right now for them to officially announce or tease a General Grievous from Revenge of the Sith. And you have to wonder, how would that compete with this General Grievous? And you can't just go by, well, this one has problems. Well, sure. There are some quality control problems and issues that have been recognized by Sideshow, but they're correcting these issues. So now you're going to get a corrected version, You got to keep that in mind. There's going to be a corrected version of this, which is going to be a better version of this, which is going to be an upgraded version of this. Think about that. You got to put aside the disappointment right now. It's kind of like if you're looking forward to a figure and it gets delayed a year. It's disappointing as well. Basically, this is delayed. But that's an opportunity for Hot Toys to jump in the mix and say, here I am. Let me rock you like a hurricane. Now you're going to have to choose between two. It's the same thing when Hot Toys officially goes ahead and announces a C-3PO, which is something we're going to talk about at Live and Raw this coming Saturday. So here you go. C-3PO up on the screen, offered up by Sideshow. And this would be the same scenario. Because if Hot Toys came out with their own C-3PO, which they will, and it's coming very, very shortly, it's going to be competing with the Sideshow version. And if Hot Toys were to go ahead and officially announce and put up for pre-order their own version of General Grievous, it will be competing with the Sideshow General Grievous, their Star Wars figure, as well. So it's going to be the same thing. And at the end of the day, I think the price point's going to be really, really good. I think they're going to put it somewhere around $400 or so. You're going to have just a couple of die-cast parts with it, kind of like the IG-11. And that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see which version collectors choose when it comes to C-3PO. And when it comes to General Grievous. It's going to be very, very interesting because they are both coming. For sure. So let's go ahead now and go to some secondary market news. We'll move to the next segment of this program and go to 6scalecantina.com and go to the biggest mover section. All right, look what I got up on the screen. So you see some differences within the biggest mover section at 6scalecantina.com for sure. And this is very interesting. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at the first figure. Number 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Deluxe and Regular Edition from Revenge of the Sith. This figure, ladies and gentlemen, is hot, hot, hot. It's worth another sip of coffee. And I absolutely love this figure. But let's go ahead and take a look at some recent data for Obi-Wan, which is absolutely insane right now. I'm pulling this up onto the screen. And you can see right back here. And this is actually from just a few days ago, several days ago. $649 US seller. All of them sold now. Wow, this figure continues to just sell, not only in the high $500 tier range over and over, but so much so within the $600 tier range that when you go to the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com, let us see exactly where this is sitting. And I am just going to, actually, I'll sort this out current value-wise because you're going to see it really, really fast. Whenever you get to the current value column, just click on that current value column a couple times. So you get the highest ranked figures to the lowest ranked figures. And look what has breached the $600 tier range. Obi-Wan Kenobi Deluxe MMS 478. $605 and rising. Wow. I think I need some spotchka for this one. That's absolute insanity. And I talked about this in many, many episodes since I've been on the air here with 6 Scale Cantina. And I was always saying, is it possible that this Obi-Wan Kenobi Deluxe is going to be a $600 tier range figure? And I thought it was, and here you go. It absolutely is. This figure is hot, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very, very hot. And it's going to be really interesting with the forthcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series, exactly how this figure goes, because that series is going to be absolutely outstanding, forthcoming later on next year in 2022. And when I pull up everything Obi, you can just kind of put in the word Obi or type it all out, whatever you prefer. You can see that I pulled up on the screen just everything Obi-Wan. That the third figure I have highlighted, the non-deluxe version, $485 and rising. So wait for it. Wait for it. Is it possible that this non-deluxe version will actually breach the $500 tier range? And I say, yes, it most certainly will. And as far as this particular figure here, the possibilities of this, a reissue of this figure, I mean, sure. There are, as Captain James T. Kirk would say, there always are possibilities. But I think the closest reissue that you're going to get with this Obi-Wan initially, closest to timing, is obviously going to be the Clone Wars version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that particular figure, I believe, is going to be officially announced before the end of this year, in any moment, quite frankly, with that. I do believe that Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars version of Anakin Skywalker is going to be released early. And right in conjunction with it, you're going to see this Obi-Wan Kenobi be officially announced right about in tandem at the same time with it. And of course, that's the same head sculpt as what you got with this Revenge of the Sith version of Obi-Wan. Now, with the forthcoming series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which I absolutely cannot wait for that series to air next year. My goodness. Sure, they could go ahead and reissue the Revenge of the Sith version. But I think that maybe even before then, though, that you may get some type of Obi-Wan from that particular series, maybe a couple of versions of Obi-Wan. Remember, with the recent WandaVision, you had one version of Vision, and you had another version of Vision that they came out with. So is it possible that with the Obi-Wan series that we're not going to be limited to just one edition of Obi-Wan Kenobi? And I don't think we will. I absolutely believe that we're probably going to get a couple of versions of that Obi-Wan Kenobi for sure. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. And let's go to more Obi-Wan, and let's actually go back to the biggest mover section here at 6scalecantina.com. So you always get that from going to the homepage. And then when you scroll down the homepage, you see the biggest movers, which was just updated August 30th. It was actually updated August 31st. Look at what's next. Let's take a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi from A New Hope. And this is another figure that is just fire, boys and girls. And let's pull up some recent data on this Obi-Wan. And I'll go ahead and bring that up. Let's take a look at this here. And you can see right back, even just from the very beginning of August 3rd, 22 bids, $611 with 22 bids. this particular figure all day long. You used to be able to find it once in a while for the, in the high $400 tier range, even the mid $400 tier range, but those days are over. And is it possible that this particular figure is the A New Hope version, is one of those figures that can actually breach the $700 tier range? Now, that may seem like a bit of a stretch, $700 tier range, right? But when it comes to classic characters such as this, even with that Revenge of the Sith deluxe version, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibilities. Is it possible that this A New Hope version of Obi-Wan, from some type of flash forwards, if you will, from the upcoming series, could be something that that they come out with some type of reissue of sorts? And if they do reissue this figure, would it be the same exact one? And for me personally, I don't think that there's any improvement at all in this figure. This figure is one of the greatest hot toy releases of all time. Everything. This figure is absolutely outstanding. I think that they could just straight out reissue this figure, and with the upcoming Obi-Wan series, I could actually see that it would go well, even if they're coming out with, they're going to have the Clone Wars version of Kenobi up on pre-order, and they may have a version of 2 of Obi-Wan that's also going to be up on pre-order as well. Going ahead and putting out a legacy character such as this at the same time, I don't think is outside of the realm of possibility, nor do I think it's too much. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, gee, Aries, you can't have so many of the same character up on pre-order at the same time. Well, don't think of Hot Toys the way you used to, because everything that Hot Toys used to be, you got to kind of not. It's evolving. There's a lot more collectors that are coming into Hot Toys. A lot of new collectors. It's a totally different market for Star Wars right now. Hot Toys is seeing that. The Mandalorian is picking up in Asia. It's the most watched television show anywhere in the world, and who knows if that's going to continue to, you're going to see the effects of that with the Obi-Wan series, or with the Book of Boba Fett, or with the upcoming, Ahsoka series, and all these other series that are going to be coming out, the Andor series. If it continues to have the same effect, it's going to be a lot of Star Wars mania out there. There's going to be a lot of pull for Star Wars. And you have to wonder, the way things were during the sequels, all right, even before the sequels, does it have to be the same exact way as you know it? And I think that right now, it's big business for Hot Toys Star Wars. And I think that Star Wars is going to continue to be big business for sure. And the whole idea about movies, the world has changed, whether we want to admit it or not. People, the way movies were, the way it was in the past, post pre COVID, is not going to be exactly the same. It's not going to bounce back exactly the same as it was post COVID, and it's not because it won't be over. It's because that there's new things that companies discovered. You have businesses, corporate centers that are realizing, oh wow, I don't have to pay millions and millions of dollars for this space. We can work remotely in some cases. And you're going to see that with movie theaters. Disney's like, wow, I don't have to pay all this money to these movie theater chains. If I can go ahead and keep all the money ourselves and stream it as well. So nothing is going to stay the same. And that's the same thing with what you're used to seeing. Oh my goodness. There's so many Hot Toys pre-orders. What are we going to do? Well, I don't know. Maybe we need to get out of it because they're going to double those in the upcoming years. It doesn't matter to me. They can quadruple the pre-orders. I'm still going to get what I'm going to get. I personally love the selection, so just give me all the selection. But that's what you're going to come to. As many Marvel characters as you see up on the Sideshow site. Let's actually go to it. Let's actually go to Sideshow And Sideshow everything. And let's see if would I have this bookmarked if I had as soon as it loads. If I have everything marked. Oh yeah, good. Hot Toys and Marvel. So, when you scroll down over here and you look under brands, it has, and I'm going to have to look more close on the screen here, but I think that says 138 or so Marvel figures that are available, and you have 90 Star Wars. Well, better start getting used to the number of about 138 Star Wars that's going to match Marvel, because that's what's going to happen with all this upcoming content with Star Wars for sure. So that's what you're looking at. And, with some past episodes and some recent live shows that I've had over the last month and a half, where, I think we had one in there the last month where we talked about budgeting, and we talked about, how I manage my collection and how some other people that are on the regular live show panels, how they manage the, and budget for their collections. You most certainly are going to have to do that, because you're not going to be able to keep up with everything that they're going to come out with. And no matter what you say or do, they're going to come out with a lot of figures. Unless all of these shows on Disney Plus bomb, like Solo and like The Last Jedi reaction was anyway with the fandom. Unless those things happen, it's going to be Star Wars mania, baby. That's what it's going to be. All right, let's go ahead and go back to 6scalecantina.com and go to the biggest mover section. Darth Maul. Darth Maul DX16 is hot, hot, hot. And I talked about this in many, many episodes, again, since I first came on to the scene here with 6 Scale Cantina. And I was suggesting for so many months that this DX16 would eventually be a $400 tier range figure. And it finally, as of the last episode, breached the $400 tier range and continues to climb. Let's bring up some recent data on Darth Maul and DX16. So this is just, continually selling big, big, big. Bringing this up on the screen, just a couple of ones back from the middle of August, $460, 32 bids. Great, great seller. All 100% feedback, over 800, not including the $25 in shipping, not including taxes. Wow. And bringing this back up again. And you could look right here, $455 for this listing by another very reputable seller, Hawk Wars Toys. Almost 1,150 feedback, all 100% positive. $455 with 24 watchers. You can make an offer on this, probably get, $445, $440, and that's pretty much that's what this figure. That's what this figure is going for. And I'm continually seeing it sell more and more and more, over $400, and less and less and less under $400. And I can go ahead and let's see if I have any other data on DX16. So even ones that sell low, like for instance this one here, back from August 30th, $410 with 20 bids. And remember, whenever you have an average that's up on the market value chart, it's not always going to sell exactly at that price. You're going to have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80, sometimes below, and then you're going to have the same thing up, and sometimes it's 100 below, and sometimes it's 100 up, and it varies. But all day long, this is continually selling over the $400 tier range. And let's go ahead and go to the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com. And let's plug in Maul into the little search box and see what we come up with here. And when you go ahead and type in Maul, you can see that the DX16, I'll highlight it on the screen for you, $424 and rising. Wow. So this figure, in a big way, as I mentioned in the last show, has breached a $400 tier range in a big, big way. And you have to wonder, is it possible that the solo Darth Maul is going to go ahead and also breach the $400 tier range? And I say yes. I absolutely do. It's not going to be one of these replies by me. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. We're not going to have to keep an eye on it. That solo Darth Maul is an absolute sick figure that a lot of collectors slept on. And I could tell you I have that in my collection. It's a toss-up between that one and the DX16. And I love my DX16 because that's the Maul that I like. The figure is so good. I mean, I'm going to choose the DX16 all day over all the other Mauls, including that one. I'm telling you, it's a good figure. It's a good figure. And as you're seeing Darth Maul, the DX16 rising, 424. What's going to be going on with Darth Maul and the speeder bike, the DX17, which is holding steady at $500? And I can tell you right now, with this particular figure, that rest assured with everything that's going on right now with a lot of the bikes and those type of vehicles that are coming out, that this figure is absolutely 1000% going to breach the $600 tier range in the future for sure. So that is my thoughts on Darth Maul. Let's go back to the biggest movers section and see what else is cooking, baby. Now, Commander Cody, we talked about that in the last episode. This figure continues to sell hot, and even when it sells low, because as I'm saying about averages, it doesn't always sell exactly what the average is. But this average is somewhere around 417. We'll take a look at it in a second. But it's going to sell below. It's going to sell over. And just pulling up a recent one. Well, that's wrong. That's the wrong one that I put up over there. Didn't mean to pull up OG Mando. Let me pull this up. There we go. I'll pull this up onto the screen. Yeah, August 22nd. Commander Cody, $407.51 with 14 bids. Just back on August 22, and that's one of the lower ones. But again, and let's go take a look at where, this is sitting on the market value chart and pull in Cody. It's going to be somewhere around 416, 417. I think it's 417 probably now. It's been inching up little by little by little. Week by week by week. Commander Cody. Cody, $416 and rising. So sometimes selling above that, sometimes selling a little bit below that. But this particular figure continues to be on the rise, for sure. And is it possible that Hot Toys is taking a look at how Commander Cody is performing within the secondary market? And, is it really a surprise that I heard from the Hot Toys wizard that they're not going to be coming out with just 2 of the Bad Batch? They're going to be coming out with 3. And not just 3 of the Bad Batch. They're going to be coming out with 4. And not just 4 of the Bad Batch, but they're going to be coming out with 5 of the Bad Batch figures. And, I think that Hot Toys is spilling their own coffee over Tamora Morrison likeness figures. Is it possible that they're going to just bombard us with clone figures with head sculpts? And I say, go for it, Hot Toys. Bring it. What you gonna do when Hot Toys unleashes all these clones on you? What you gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and brew some coffee. Probably spill some coffee. Probably go ahead and buy some mops off of 808 Michigan Jedi. Shout out to him, great supporter. Probably gonna go ahead and Forget about proper 12 from Conor McGregor. I'm probably going to go ahead and get some Spotchka from Fennec Shand, baby. Yeah. All right. Listen, I gotta save this for Live and Raw. Let's get into the serious market outlook again. Be serious. Gotta fur my eyebrows here. Anyway, yeah. Commander Cody. He's awesome. Gotta keep it serious with the panel. Gotta keep it serious on these shows. Gotta go all out on Live and Raw. Yep, your different shows on the 6-Scale Cantina Network. Is it possible? Is it possible the Hot Toys Wizard is going to show up at or call in at one of these Live and Raws? You have to wonder. Kylo. All right, I really want to talk about The Last Jedi Kylo. It's sinking. And you get some of these listings that go up for $450. And you have to wonder about that too. Luke, The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens Luke. So I will tell you that, let's pull up some data on Luke, that the Force is strong with Luke Skywalker, in case you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know that the Force was strong with Luke Skywalker. But, when you watch 6-Scale Cantina, you'll learn about these things. And back from August 27th, ended $283.18 for this figure, not including the $53.10 in shipping. So basically over $300 for this particular figure. Let's go to another one. Luke, The Force Awakens, and this has been showing signs for quite a while that it would be rising with 6 bids back from August 17th, $320 US seller, not including the $24.35 in shipping, not including taxes. So, it's not just Luke from The Mandalorian Season 2 finale that's hot. It is Luke Skywalker from Star Wars in general that is hot. You're seeing it with this Force Awakens figure here. And you're seeing it with the A New Hope versions of Luke. The Luke Stormtrooper is showing big signs of rising right now from A New Hope. The Luke A New Hope regular farm boy version. And, of course, that's been talked about forever. It's an older figure, but, the head sculpt for that, it doesn't even, I've talked about that actually with the Mandalorian Luke. You want to talk about head sculpts. You see how that Luke does within the secondary market is absolutely unbelievable. Luke is just hot. And even that Luke Endor, deluxe and regular Endor, which came down a little bit, once the Mandalorian Season 2 version came out, starting to show signs of leveling off and going back up again, actually. Very, very interesting. Again, I pointed out that Luke from the Mandalorian finale is not going to replace Return of the Jedi Luke. So very, very interesting with these, with Luke Skywalker for sure. All right, let's go ahead and go back to 6scalecantina.com. Back to the biggest mover section. And let's see what's beyond Luke. So you have the Short Trooper. Short Trooper, it's trending down. And look at the difference here. Vader and Tarkin 2-pack has trended down a bit. Now, it's not trending down like above it. You see the Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi. It's not trending down like the Short Trooper or like the Finn Stormtrooper. It's not trending down like that. It just trended down a little bit recently, while Tarkin by himself continues to trend up. Very, very interesting. There was a time a couple months ago, or a few months ago, where that Darth Vader was actually trending up, and I'm actually seeing the Darth Vader trending, still showing signs. It leveled off, but still showing signs of trending up at Darth Vader from A New Hope. So what is exactly going on here? Nothing too impacting. Let's actually go to the market value chart. It was sitting very, very high. Let's sort everything out. Current value, high to low. So Tarkin and Vader, 800 and trending down. Dark Side Anakin's above it now by itself at 805. Nothing to look at here. It's just kind of an ebb and flow. A lot of times with some of these, if they shift like that, it's more of just an adjustment, not really a down or an uptrend. But this one was significant enough. It was sitting at 840. Right now it's at 800. I expect it to just fluctuate between around this area for some time. I actually expect it to go ahead and trend back up. But let's actually go to some recent data when it comes to Tarkin and Darth Vader. So pulling this up, you can see back from August 15th, $722.88 US, which is a good chunk of money, and not including the shipping and not including the taxes, which puts this actually over $800. Let's go to another one with Tarkin and Vader. And you can see with this one that I'm pulling up here onto the screen, $735, just back from close to the end of July, with $25. And right now what's going on with this in particular 2-pack, selling all day long within the $700 tier range. It's still selling in the 800s and sometimes 900s. Just right now or more recently, it's been selling more in the $700 tier range. But, the real interesting thing about this is, you're getting Tarkin by himself that is selling more, over $500 and into the $600, and people bypassing on the 2-pack, and then you're actually getting people buying the A New Hope Darth Vader for well over $250, for $250, and sometimes over $300. So very, very interesting. It's almost like, yeah, I want the Vader, but I don't want the 2-pack. Well, I want the Tarkin. It's almost like they want to a la carte. They don't want to spend a whole big bang for both of them. Just with this trend, very, very interesting with that. You're not seeing that effect with the Han and Chewbacca's, and you're actually seeing the Force Awakens Han and Chewbacca rise up, and you're actually showing signs of the Han and Chewbacca 2-pack from A New Hope showing signs of actually starting to rise. So it's not just because, well, there's more figures and there's this, so you're going to see that. No, it's just happening with Tarkin and Vader, and there's really no rhyme or reason for it that I could really pinpoint, except that there are a lot of figures right now that people have to consider, but you're not seeing it with all these big ticket items. You're actually seeing the DX07 rise. So very, very interesting with that right now. Again, I think just a blip within the system there, and it's going to be very interesting because not only is, and going back to the market value chart, not only is this 2-pack trended down, but Tarkin by himself is trending up. And just plug it in, Tarkin, right into the market value chart. You can see right here, $550 and rising, while the 2-pack is, trending down. And let's see where Vader is. Just put in the word Vader. And let's see if I got Vader A New Hope steady at $276. So very interesting. They're going for them a la carte. A little bit more right now, especially Tarkin. More than the Vader and Tarkin 2-pack. So we're certainly going to have to go ahead and keep an eye on that for sure. Let's go back to the biggest mover section. Han Solo A New Hope. Forget about it. Han Solo A New Hope is just absolutely on fire. Let me pull up some recent data on Han Solo for you. And here's Han Solo with staining. Okay, staining and no box, no art box. Okay, like this. Back from August 30th. Okay, and $385, not including shipping, not including taxes. Over $400 for this particular work of art. Wow. And, going to the market value chart with this particular figure and plugging in Han. And all the Hans are doing well. I'm seeing the Han Stormtrooper showing signs of skyrocketing as well. The Han Deluxe, from the Solo movie, and Han regular is showing signs of going, especially the deluxe. The only Han that's not showing signs of rising is the Mud Trooper, which is interesting. But Han Solo A New Hope now is risen dollar by dollar, $502 and rising with this Han Solo figure. And Han is hot right now. And, look, I'll give you a little preview on some of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about upcoming here at Live and Raw, this Saturday, September 4th, baby. Look at this. You see what's up on your screen? Take a look. That is a Sideshow. That is a Sideshow version of Hot Toys Captain Han Solo. That's what it says in the thing. It's not Hot Toys, but it's a Sideshow. Han Hoth with 44 bids at $306.70, not including the $20 in shipping, not including taxes, for a Sideshow Han Hoth. All right. Is it possible that Hot Toys sees this and realizes that a new Han, whether it be a Han Hoth, please give us a Han Hoth. How about a Tauntaun? How about a Luke Hoth? How about a Tauntaun? Let me drink to that for a minute. How about Bespin Han? We drink to that. How about an Endor Han? Let me drink to that. How about a DX Han? Let me spill my coffee, baby. Listen. Can we get the Hot Toys Grievous already? Yeah, I'm going to be hitting a lot of that. Live and Raw. 7 p.m. Saturday. To be there or be square. Labor Day weekend. Just about finished all the spotchka. Yeah. Yeah. Can we get a Zaj Ventress too? Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like it a lot. How about Bespin Luke? We got a lot to talk about. At Live and Raw. Let's go to the second segment. Let's actually go to the Sideshow.com. I have everything sorted out best-selling wise. And just as I predicted, where is Boba Fett and the Throne? Now, it was up there for a whole month. And of course, just like the Boba Fett 2-pack was up there for a whole month as well. And just like Ahsoka and Grogu were almost up there for, a whole month as well. And they kind of went back down here to, this area. There's Boba and the Throne, and there's Boba Fett without the throne, and just a line down, there's Boba Fett 2-pack, and also the Boba Fett worn out armor by itself. There's a Ahsoka Tano and the Grogu. So, again, I think with these figures, they have a lot of pre-orders, especially when they initially came out. I expect both this Boba Fett 2-pack and the Boba Fett with the worn out armor and Boba Fett with the throne and the repaint Boba Fett by itself. Once the Book of Boba Fett gets closer and is actually on, it will rise and get up here where around Rex is and be up in this area. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see with those particular figures just how many Hot Toys actually winds up producing. But just when you could see with the trends here, in no way, shape, or form are they going to produce as many of those figures as they did with these Beskar versions of The Mandalorian, which were in the top 4 from the moment they were released all the way until the chrome-plated Mandalorians came out. So it's just that's what the story is. And I expect with this Luke, as I mentioned before, I thought it would be, I got some questions in. Wow, it's not ahead of Boba Fett and the Throne. I said, give it time, it will be, and it will be number 1. And you'll have the deluxe version, number 2 or number 1, and the regular or non-deluxe version, number 1 or number 2. And they sure are. And then eventually, just like Ahsoka and Grogu, those Lukes will come down over here a little bit as well. And probably at the end of the day, you're going to get the chrome-plated Mandalorians that are going to be looming higher for sure. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Very, very interesting here. It's kind of going exactly the way that I thought it would go. I do think, though, that once the Book of Boba Fett gets nearer, that these Boba Fetts, and all three of them actually, will start to rise as well. So that'll be very interesting to keep an eye on that. Couple of figures to not sleep on. Do not sleep on the 501st, whether it's the deluxe or non-deluxe, because they are selling really, really well. Look at those. And it's going to be very interesting once these get in stock and these pre-order tags get off of here, just how long they're going to be in stock compared to the Remnant Trooper, the Death Trooper, and the Incinerator Trooper. Will be very, very interesting. And look at this Captain Rex again. So I actually put a little bit of I put a yellow alert on these 501st because I don't think that they're going to be in there longer than the aforementioned troopers I just spoke of anyway. I think these are going to go fast, folks. And I think that Rex is going to be super, super fast. Again, Cody was about 3 months or so that it was in stock, and I don't see Rex sitting in there that long. I see Rex about half the time. If we get him in here in stock with the in-stock tag for a month and a half, I would be very, very surprised on that. Definitely a yellow alert on that figure. Certainly you got yellow alerts, on Kylo Ren and Rey from the Rise of Skywalker. Going to be very interesting to see what happens with the armor once that goes ahead and gets released. I think that, for as long as, I actually think that I give a yellow alert on that as well. The Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, the heavy infantry Mandalorian, that was a wonder with that one. And a lot of collectors that would get that are going to get the armor. They kind of go together. Yellow alert on that. For sure. As far as figures that are going to be coming out, I expect to see Rex final production photos any day. I expect the same thing shortly afterwards, or maybe even around the same time, or shortly afterwards with Ahsoka Tano. And it's going to be very interesting with the Clone Wars Maul, the Clone Wars Anakin. Are those going to go ahead and get released this year? Soon. The final production photos, that's going to be very, very interesting. What else we got looming down over here? The Death Watch Mandalorian, going to be very interesting with that. This Grogu 6-scale figure set, very, very interesting with that as well. Yeah, I think you're going to get a couple of figures here. It could be that Anakin, it could be that Lando that are going to go ahead, and certainly that Grogu, I believe, before the holidays, that are going to go ahead and get released earlier than anticipated for sure. Yeah, it'll be interesting with that Stormtrooper Commander. Coruscant Guard is selling really, really well. Expect it to be, with all the other Clone Wars figures that are going to be coming out. Yeah, just be mindful of that. At the very least, it'll probably be in stock, certainly not any more than the Death Trooper, the Incinerator Trooper, the Remnant Trooper for sure. Anyway, and that's going to go ahead and bring this episode of the Market Value Chart Show to a conclusion. Please go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. And please go ahead and subscribe to 6-Scale Cantina. I so very much appreciate your support. Remember, this Saturday, September 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern, live and raw with the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington. I'll be serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk. We may even get a buzz from the... Actually, he's calling me right now as I'm ending this. Let me go ahead and take this. Hot Toys Wizard, how... Really? Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, I don't have enough to... Are you... Wizard. Always hangs up on me. Wow. He spilled spotchka. All right. What in the world was he talking about? Tune in on Saturday, baby, at 7 p.m. Eastern to find out. Yeah, I got the link to the Facebook in the video description. We talk everything that we talk about in 6 Scale Cantina on these videos and whatnot. You got to go ahead and check it out. I got Instagram. I got Discord in the video description as well. Remember, many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Stay thirsty, my friends. See you Saturday.